Hello, let me share with you my perspective of feminism, the good, the bad, and the ugly side of it, like the cowboy movie from Sergio Leone. But this will be a cowgirl video. At the end, I will propose the beautiful side of feminism. All this from the point of view of a non expert in gender issues, but an ordinary woman, a middle class sheet engineer who is 40 years old and have two daughters. And this is a brief disclaimer. In reality, there are many types of feminism, but I will focus on the one that permeates my reality, the hegemonic version that seeks gender parity in the different professional fields, the reduction of wage gap, and the equal representation of women in positions of power. The good of feminism. The positive side of feminism is crystal clear. Thanks to feminism, I grew up in an era where women have access to education, vote and be voted for, have access to contraception, choose whether and when to have children, have financial independence, get divorced if they choose so, etc. Throughout history, with very few exceptions, it has been a constant that women have played essentially domestic and reproductive role. What has varied in each culture is the appreciation that society has placed to this role and the degree to which it has or has not hindered women's participation in the public sphere. When people ask me what other era I would have liked to live in, I always prefer to stay in this one because the level of opportunities women have today is unprecedented in history. I owe this mainly to feminism. The degree to which women demand this respect today is very important to me, both in the private and in the public spheres. It's good and fair that domestic violence, harassment in workplace or in public transportation, misogynistic comments and the imposition of gender roles are denounced. Before, if a woman pointed them as uncomfortable or in poor taste, they were labeled bitter, exaggerated, having their period. So I'm glad that this kind of stupid nonsense is no longer tolerated. I remember when I was in college, one of my best friends carried a camera, one of the first digital cameras around. He carried it so he wouldn't have to take notes from the blackboard, but also to take pictures of all the Botox he saw. There was no way he could change his mind about thinking this was funny. I also remember when I was 19 on a bus, a man walked by rubbing his penis against me, and it didn't occur to me to punch him, yell at him, tell the driver, make a scene. Nothing. I froze. If I did, I didn't know if anyone would defend me, if it would make things worse. I remember also when I was in my first job, when I was 21, one of the bosses at the company looked at me from head to toe and said, out of the blue, uh, you're great, Bentley. You just need a little more breast. So you should have surgery. And it didn't occur to me to say, no one asked you. Keep your comments to yourself. If it's about surgery, you will better get rid of your big belly and change your face. Nothing. I had also another boss that used to say, quite openly, half jokingly, half truthfully, that all women engineers were idiots until proven otherwise. I also remember that during a dinner with colleagues when I have just awarded with a scholarship to study abroad, a master's degree, a distinguished researcher whom I greatly admire and respect cracked a phenomenal joke. He said that he will award scholarships to many, many women to study abroad so they can marry to male researchers from abroad and bring them to Mexico. That will really make the difference in the quality of research in our country, he said. And that joke was hilarious for everybody in the table. If remembering all these bad experiences leaves me with a bitter taste in my mouth, I can't imagine what a woman who has been beaten or raped must feel. I can't imagine what I would be capable of if one of my daughters were trafficked, murdered, or disappeared. What I have experienced doesn't compare to the level of injustice, violence, or re-victimization that many women experience everywhere and every day. So, if you ask me, the marches of feminist groups don't seem exaggerated for me. For all I care, they can burn and defeat all the statues they want.